Well, good morning. Thank you for joining me again this week. I really appreciate people taking time for us to be able to connect once a week. You'll notice that this is at a different time every week, and that's on purpose, so that some has to do with my own schedule, but also making sure that if people have standing meetings that they're able to join us live when they can. So I appreciate you being here. And I also know that these continue to be not incredibly easy times. This COVID-19 experience is impacting us all very differently. I'm glad we have each other, though, to lean on for support and connection. Right now, I would say what I'm hearing a lot from folks is that emotional health and well-being needs to be our top priority for us, for our students, and for our families. And I also want to acknowledge that many of us are spending an awful lot of time on our computers in situations like this on Zoom. It feels like all day, every day, and it can be incredibly exhausting. I do want to call out, however, that there are a couple of other types of virtual connection opportunities that have been made available by our partners within the ESD, our fellow colleagues, and two that I want to call out are, first of all, every Monday and Thursday mornings from 8:30 to 9, the Reconnect team has put together Reconnect Together, creating community through mindfulness. And I encourage you to try it. You can find out more information on that at the Work at Home website. And then I also want to call out that yesterday I took part in the first Culture of Care Coaches Wellness Circle and found it very powerful and stress reducing. So I want to thank the Culture of Care coaches. I want to thank Team Reconnect for pulling these opportunities together for us. The Culture of Care Wellness Circle is scheduled for Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10 o'clock, and then again, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. Again, reach out to those folks, look at our Work at Home site to be able to learn more about those. I think they're incredibly important because I continue to hear stories of struggles that people are happening, that are going on for folks. They're balancing personal and professional responsibilities, the stress of trying to do this, work, have a family, help to school your children. All of this is incredibly hard. And there also is just ambiguity regarding what work at home is supposed to look like. And is my work relevant right now? How do I make it relevant in this new world? And so please know that we hear that, it's real, and also ask you to continue to reach out to each other during these times to support other folks as they're figuring this out just as you are. But I do also continue to hear moments of positive joy and connection. And again, like last week, this isn't an exhaustive list, but I would like to call out a few examples of things that are going on out there that are positive. Healthy Beginnings, for example, just sent notice out that they're pivoting their services to virtual connections. They're doing scheduled times with child development expert volunteers at a family's convenience, and that's a shift from their model in the past. And I kind of want to do a shout out and a good on you, Healthy Beginnings, for shifting to make that work for our folks out there. Also want to note that the fan advocates are finding ways to support each other so that they can then be reaching out and supporting all the families that need their help. And at a community level, just on the same topic as of FAN was one of 10 local nonprofits selected for support from the Ben Foundation. Selected because they are an organization that directly impacts the virus. And I know that many of our other programs are hearing from funders, hearing from partners saying, we want to help you out at this time. And so I give FAN as one example of one of our programs that is seen as just being vital. And so thank you for that. And at a national level for recognition, I also want to acknowledge that today is Administrative Professionals Day. And I want to give a shout out and a thank you to everyone who provides that administrative support to all of us. And I have a little something for our admin professionals across the ESD with apologies to Love Actually. Here you go. So hopefully those were all right side up, and you saw my appreciation for all of you who are secretaries, administrative assistants, administrative professionals for all that you do. So thank you for that. I also want to call out that April is Deaf History Month. It is Autism Awareness Month, OT, Occupational Therapy Month, and Volunteer Appreciation. So I want to just recognize and bring some normalcy to, there are things that our colleagues are doing all the time that are worthy of being celebrated, and certainly worthy of thanking them for it. So thank you. I also know that you have your own stories of hope and challenge. And again, as you experience these, we'd ask that you share them with us. And the same way we've let you know before, which is at our Work at Home website, there is a click to your voice where you can send us questions, concerns, ideas, or positive stories of hope or celebration. So please do continue to share those with us. And like I've done in the last couple of weeks, we continue to get some questions. They're slowing down, but they're still coming in, and they're being put on our FAQ site. I'd like to just share a couple of those questions today with the answers verbally. So one example of a question we've received recently is, what are best practices for interacting with students and families via live video? This is a great question. We've pulled in our attorneys, our legal team, and our tech team. They have provided comprehensive guidance on collaborating with students and families via live video. Please visit our Work at Home website to review those criteria and process for ensuring that you and the students are staying safe, engaged, and effective on live video. We ask that you work with your supervisor on this as well, and make sure that they know that you are interacting with students and families this way if they wouldn't have known otherwise, and work with them on coming to understand what that guidance is and how to proceed to make sure that everyone is safe. Second question, what is the ESD's position on sending specialized equipment home to families? This is another great question. Again, we had our attorneys working in this case with our special ed folks to create detailed guidance on sending specialized equipment home to families during this unique time. We want to recognize the answer to the question is, if the IEP and IFSP team believe it is needed for the students to have access and to make progress on their IEP or IFSP goals, then we will send it home. We'll find a way to make that happen following the guidelines that were put together. So the case managers are going to be, the school case managers are going to be the point person on this. They will convene the IEP or IFSP team to pull this together. When and if a collective decision is made by that team, families need to electronically accept responsibility for the equipment. And we also have some specific health and safety guidelines for checking out equipment in terms of making sure that it's clean and sterile and safe. So again, encourage you to go to the FAQ website, and if you don't see a question there that you have, please submit it in the Your Voice link on the website. Last thing I wanted to share with you are a couple of updates, continuations of what we've talked about in the past. Distance learning. We're in communication with our districts to identify how best to support distance learning. And I know yesterday the regional curriculum directors met with Sandy Bishop, and she shared some ways that we could be supporting districts, including professional development, professional learning opportunities for teachers and paraeducators, regional virtual meetups for job alikes, for example, getting all K2 teachers in the region together, or counselors or principals or high school English teachers, for example. And the third example, using our Learn at Home website for families and educators. And so we're starting to trickle those out. We know that many of you have already been doing professional learning and professional development, both internally and reaching out to our districts as well. Thank you for that. And we want to continue to offer those things, and we're still fine-tuning what it is our districts need and how we can best be supporting them. But know that these are starting to roll out and our districts are engaging us on them. Second update is emergency childcare. We are essentially putting our planning on hold right now. We feel as though we are ready if we're called to do this, but we still have not been asked to do it. The demand is low. We are standing ready as we are required to by the executive order by the governor. But right now it looks like, at least in the foreseeable future, we may not be asked to stand up emergency childcare. And so we will reconvene if we need to. But other than that, we're not expecting that will be necessary anytime soon. A third update is facilities. I want to thank you for keeping building visits to minimal and continuing to work from home. I know a few of you have asked to go into your classrooms or offices or workspaces to gather materials to be able to do distance learning or things of that sort. And please just stay in contact with your supervisor on that so that your supervisor can make sure that our facilities folks know. And also I know that in a few sites, for when there have been a number of people who have asked to come in to grab their things, that we want to be able to coordinate that and make sure that everyone is safe. And the reason we want to do that is there's a lot going on out there in the media about what are the next steps. And we are still very much in the staying home to save lives executive order by the governor. And I received an email this week from St. Charles. They have a demographer who looks at what are they finding and what happens with various models if certain things were to change. And one of the things that I learned from that is they believe they're only seeing about a 10% detection rate. What that means is of the people they know who have the virus, they believe that's only 10% of the people who actually do. So of 65 detected cases, that potentially means, if that theory is true, that there are 650 people out there infected and circulating without knowing that they have had the virus. And that's concerning. Additionally, from St. Charles, they said if we were to relax social distancing by just 25%, there would be a significant second surge. And so we're aware of all of that information, and we will continue to stand by Governor Brown's orders. But we also eagerly await more detailed guidance about a safe, phased-in approach to reopening Oregon. And we will do that safely. We will do that with scientific information and with the governor's orders and guidance on that. Most importantly, however, I think it's critical that we are staying connected. We are supporting each other in new ways, including with people we don't generally work with. I know that people are struggling. They are unsure how to reach out. First of all, if you are feeling that way, please do reach out to someone. And for the rest of us, please do reach out to people that you haven't talked to in a while and just check in with them. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Thank you for all you do, and I'll see you again next week.